Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video today on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I stay motivated to draw. And this is a bit of a touchy topic because maybe my methods are not going to be the best methods for you. But at the very least, I'm going to explain how I personally do it. Then I'm going to be giving you guys a bit of advice on how you should approach it too as well. So sit back, relax, and let's talk. So how it all started off for me, I'm going to be talking about two things. How I got obsessed with drawing and how I stay drawing even though I don't want to draw. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, motivation is a fleeting concept. It doesn't stay around, right? It's not something that you can keep with you for the entire time of your life. It's only short term. It only happens for one specific thing. Maybe you can stretch it over into more things, but it's not going to last very long. What you really need is discipline and dedication, or what people call drive, or in other words, obsession. Because when you're obsessed with something, no matter how you feel about it, no matter how much you don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying, you still do it. You don't really think that much about how much you don't want to do it, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much how the saying obsession beats talent every time comes in. You've probably seen that ad where like art YouTubers are saying that, like Lowish and many others are saying that. And it's true. It's very, very true that being obsessed about something is gonna always put you a bit further along than someone who is just talented or skilled or just a hobbyist. So how I got about, being obsessed with art is it's a bit of a sad story, but it's only sad if I don't win, That's how I view my life. I view everything in my life as they're only sad or they're only disappointing when the results are not what I expect them to be. So when I started drawing for the sake of making money online. I originally wanted to be a gaming YouTuber, right? That's what I originally wanted to be. I was like 12, 13, and that was a dream at the time. Just being a gaming YouTuber, play Minecraft, and, buy a Lamborghini. That's pretty much how I saw it, at least. And beginning my entire YouTuber journey back when I was 12, 13, I did not have the equipment that was necessary for me to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to play Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I never had a smartphone like what I'm using to record this video, or a tablet, a decent one that was able to play video games on. So I decided to go online and look at different ways how I could make money. And after searching around, I found that you could make money by drawing. And I've always had a bit of interest in drawing since I was younger, probably 8-9 years old, because my brothers and my cousins would always come around and draw Goku and draw Naruto, and I would always take a little interest to that. So I found out that there's this entire community of people on this website called Twitter, which, looking back, I don't think it was good for a 12-year-old to be on Twitter, but hey, it worked out, man. So when I joined Twitter, I joined the Minecraft community. I saw people editing videos for people. I saw people doing 3D models for people. I saw people doing all those things that were, skill-wise related to Minecraft. And I said to myself, well, I don't have a computer. I don't have a computer that can work with Blender, so I can't make 3D models. And I don't have a computer to edit videos. All I had was just access to a smartphone, which I eventually got when I was like 14. So when I got that smartphone at 14, I was like, okay, maybe I could draw for people. Maybe I could draw like cool icons and that sort of thing for people, which I ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? I drew on my Huawei Y360 smartphone, which is like this super small smartphone, like 3 point something inch screen. I drew on that and I started drawing digitally with Medibang Paint. And that's pretty much how the entire MarkiiCreative arc started. Those of you who are probably subscribed to the channel since back then would know that originally my online name was PetroDXG or Petro Arts, yeah. So after some time of drawing for people, making some money online through Twitter, drawing Minecraft stuff, doing the Minecraft thing, I've realized at some point I did not exactly enjoy what I was doing. I realized that there was this bit of ego within me. You know, I wanted to be better. I wanted to be like so much better than my peers at the time in the Minecraft community, because they were really good. Like, truth be told, they were very, very good. They like had super cool shading. They did like super cool stuff with Minecraft. Like, they were really, really good. So I want to be like as good as them. So a passion started to like build up in me, because initially I just wanted the money, man. I never cared about the art side of things like that. I just wanted the money. If I did care, I cared like very minimally. And when that passion started to like develop and I saw myself wanting to do more, I saw myself breaking out of the Minecraft scene into the more humanoid anime character, semi-realism, whatever you want to call it, comic book scene. And once I got in that scene, I realized how absolutely difficult it was to make like get a footing there, you know, because in the Minecraft scene there weren't as many artists at the time versus the more popular anime art culture, where there were a ton of people, millions more people than artists in the Minecraft scene. So for me to get my footing, I realized that I had to be really, 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 really good. Really, really good, you know. And what happened for a very long time was that I was actively trying to get better, actively doing things that would gather a following and, you know, build an audience for myself, which I'm not going to deep dive too much into because that's not the point of this video. But over some time, I was trying and failing. I failed way more times than I succeeded. I failed a lot of times. A lot of times I was taking shots in the dark. I've been there. I've been the hungry artist. I've been the starving artist. I mean, quite literally been the starving artist. There are times where I couldn't find food to eat. There are times where I couldn't find food to eat, and it demotivated me a lot of times. It made me feel sad. It made me feel like, why did I choose to do all these things? Why did I get so into this life, knowing that it's so difficult? Not knowing that it's so difficult, but I kept with it. And the reason why I kept with it wasn't only because I was obsessed. It was also because I had nothing else. I had no plan B. I live in a country where going out getting a traditional 9 to 5 is extremely hard. Like, brother, if you were to go outside right now as a guy who's trying to look a 9 to 5 job in Jamaica, maybe you're trying to work in, like, I don't know, KFC or something, it's not gonna be as easy as it might be in other first world countries or second world countries. In Jamaica, things are just hard for no reason. Like, I've tried countless of times to get a proper job. Like, I do not recommend the way how I go about my art career to anybody. I really do think you should have another option. I really do think you should have a funnel to your creative expression, because if you don't have that support system, it can be really, really difficult to stay intact. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be drawing hungry, which I was doing. I was drawing hungry all the time, bro. I was starving. I'm not going to deep dive into it because, again, that's not the point of the video. But I've been there, okay? And by no means am I this super ultra successful artist now who's figured everything out and I no longer starve and I have all the money in the world. Hell no, I'm still very much broke. That's why this YouTube thing is a thing, and I'm just keeping it real with you guys. So I had no other option, you know. I had nothing else. I can't afford college, and I can't get a job, so I might as well sit down and get good at drawing. I might as well sit down and learn how to do what I want to do and how to do it very, very well. So that's just my story. That's how I got obsessed, because I was doing it every day. I was doing it when I was tired. I was doing it when I was hungry, and I was doing it when I was sad. I was doing it when I was burnt out. Again, this is not how you have to approach it. I'm just talking for the people who might be in my shoes. You know, for if you're somebody who might be doing it while you're hungry, keep doing it, because I kept on doing it. If you're someone who is doing it while you're tired, keep doing it because I kept on doing it. I'm tired right now. I've been burnt out, and it's not something I think is healthy by any means, but if you want this so badly, if you want the career of being a professional artist, whether that might be freelance or working for a studio, this is what you have to conform to. You have to accept that things are not going to be as easy and simple as you might think. And if you look at like a ton of other professional artists that you probably look up to, that's probably the exact same way that they go about their work too as well. They don't have the luxury to sit and say, oh, I'm burnt out. Sorry, DC. Like, imagine if someone did this at DC Comics. Sorry, boss. I'm burnt the heck out. You know that 12 sheet spread that you asked me for that I need to get done by like next week or tomorrow or the weekend? Screw it. I'm not doing it. No, they can't say that. They can't say that because it's tied directly to their livelihood. It's tied directly to how they eat. It's tied directly to how they live. If they tell the boss at DC or Marvel that they can't finish their work, then that's going to cause a lot of problems, not only for DC and Marvel, but for them too as well. So you have to understand, if you want this so badly, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to compromise a whole lot more than if you were just doing this as a hobbyist. Okay? So figure that out. Figure out how much do you actually want it, right? So this entire segment of me talking about my past and how I came up into this obsession, or how I developed an obsession for art, or how I stay motivated, it's the first step that I would recommend to you, which is to remember why you got started. Remember how you got started. Remember the reason as to why you're going through all of this. Do you want to make a manga one day or a comic book? Do you want to be a YouTuber? Do you want to have an art book? Do you want to tell a story? Do you just want to do art because you love it? Remember why you started to do what you're doing. Remember the reason as to why you're going through what you're going through. Why are you suffering? Those are the things that you have to remember. Those things will help you stay motivated. So always remember your why and stick with it. Keep it. And if you can't remember your why, or if you don't have a why, get a why. Because if you're just drawing for the sake of drawing, you're really not gonna go very far, bro. You gotta have a reason as to why you're doing it. If you ask me currently right now, why am I still drawing? Why am I doing all these things? It's because, one, I have no plan B, and two, I genuinely like the idea of it. I like the idea of being able to draw, show people my work, and they enjoy it and they're entertained by it. I just like the idea of entertaining people, giving people a smile, giving people a laugh, inspiring people. I just like the idea of it. So that's one of my reasons to why. Obviously, my initial reason when I was younger was mainly money, but I realized that money isn't the end all be all to everything in life. I realized that like when I was around 17. So a next thing that I like to do whenever I'm feeling demotivated, you know, or burnt out, I like to take a look on my favorite artist's Instagram profile, for example. Say that we go on the profile of Sam Does Arts, right? Sam Does Arts have like, I don't know, over 600 drawings on Instagram, you know, a lot of drawings. And when I go on his profile, I like to go all the way down to the bottom, all the way down to where it first started, just to see that this person has also suffered as much as I did. Sometimes you're going to scroll down to the bottom of their page and you're going to see that some of these people have been art gods since like 2014. Like if you scroll down like TB Choi's art page, you know, if you don't know TB Choi, then what are you doing? But if you scroll down to the bottom like TB Choi's art page, you'll see that TB Choi probably has some super good drawings like from 2014. You know, that's when I was just starting off in grade 1, you know. You'll see those things, but other times you might see that this artist was coming from a similar position that you're in right now. When you scroll to the bottom of Sam Does Arts page, you can see that bro was just drawing, you know what I'm saying? Bro was just trying to figure out things for himself, and they weren't the most amazing drawings, no, but they weren't the worst drawings either. They're probably comparable to the skill level that you're at right now. And when you compare those two people, yourself and the older version of someone you look up to, you tend to understand that, hey, you know, they sucked at one point and they got better. So I can do the exact same thing too. And that's pretty much how I find myself sometimes, just getting a little bit boost of motivation to like keep going, keep pushing, because I know that one day, someday, it's gonna get better. Because what I thought happened for Sam Does Art, for example, he found his footing. You know, he found what he liked to do and how he liked to do it. Maybe you just haven't found your footing yet. Maybe you have an idea of what you want to do, but you don't know exactly how to do it. So find your footing, you know, find how you want to create and what you want to create, and things will start to become more easier as time goes on. That's how he got his signature style. He got his you know, his painting method, all those things. He figured it out. Plus, he was a very hard worker, because remember what I told you earlier, that most of the people that you look up to online, they're very hard workers. There was a point in time that Sam was posting like 13 drawings per month. I saw a point in time when in 2020 or 2021, bro was posting January, he had like 13 drawings, 13 finished paintings. Well, finished in his own right, because we all know that Sam cuts corners, but 13 finished drawings. Then in February, he had like 17 finished drawings. That's a whole what? 30 drawings? A whole 30 drawings in 2 months? That's insane. Obviously, he did it because it was working for him, but at the same time, he did it because, you know, he liked doing it and he was paying off, you know what I'm saying? But maybe that's not how your story goes. Maybe you're posting drawings and they're not popping off the same way his drawings do, but you just gotta give yourself some time. You gotta have a reason as to why you're doing it, because there are gonna be times where things are just not gonna go your way. You're gonna be posting drawings on Instagram, you're gonna be posting drawings on Twitter, whatever, YouTube, whatever, and they're just not gonna go your way. So will you quit? Will you stop and go on and do something else? Then at that point, do you want it as much? Are you really committed to the cause? You know what I'm saying? Because he was more likely drawing to an audience of 0. Most of us were drawing to an audience of 0. Most of us are uploading videos to an audience of 0. But we stuck with it because we like doing it. We like doing the thing. That is why it's important to understand that your main motivation should never be tied to things like money, external things like money, likes, followers. Those things are very, very important, but you will never get them if the first time you attempt to get them and you don't get them, you quit. It doesn't make any sense. So you gotta keep yourself motivated, keep yourself running, even though you might not get the dream life you want at a snap of a finger. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's just how I go about, you know, keeping up my motivation. Hopefully this video puts something into perspective for you. It allowed you to be able to understand how someone can get obsessed, or if you're someone who is just taking shots in the dark, like I still am, then hopefully it allows you to understand that one day a shot's gonna hit. You know, if you stay consistent, there's a helicopter passing over. I'm sorry if you hear it. If you stay consistent and keep on firing those shots, one day those shots are gonna hit. And hopefully it makes you understand that everybody starts somewhere, right? Your favorite artist started off somewhere. Your mentor, your teacher, whoever the hell you look up to, they started off somewhere. They weren't just magically great out of nowhere. But at the same time, when they did start somewhere, they too had rough patches in the journey. And to stick on that journey, they accepted that they wanted this enough to endure those rough patches. So you gotta ask yourself that question too as well. Do I want this enough? Why do I want this enough? You know, why do I draw? Why do I get up and do all these things? Gotta do that. And our little things that can help with your motivation is that you don't compare yourself to other people, obviously. Other things that can help you with your motivation is that whenever you feel burnt out, or whenever you feel like you can't do no more, try to figure out, why do you feel like this? Is it because whenever you're drawing hands are too hard, so it makes you feel burnt out? Or is it the fact that maybe you can't draw the head or the body properly? It makes you feel burnt out. Like, notice these things and try to work around them. Try to figure out how to better control the level of damage it can put on your mental. Just pay attention to yourself a little bit and figure out how you work. Because believe it or not, I could sit here and lecture you all day about different ways to stay motivated or stay driven or stay dedicated, but at the end of the day, these are all just ideas. These are all just concepts that I can tell you that probably work for me. But it's your choice whether or not you want to accept these ideas and accept these concepts and put them into practice. Okay? So figure out how things work for you, and hopefully you can find yourself with some more motivation. But again, motivation is a fleeting concept. Dedication. So yeah, making this video made me even have a bit of motivation because I remember like some old drawings of mine, you know. Sometimes that's a good thing too. When you compare yourself to yourself, you compare yourself to like yourself back then. Like those little things can boost your motivation, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just compare yourself to yourself, compare your past self to your current self. You know, there's definitely gonna be improvement. If there's no improvement, then I'm sorry. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you should touch up again and figure things out. Give yourself some time, you know, give yourself like a good distance of time before you start comparing, because it's easier for you to compare day 1 to day 2000 and it is to compare day 1 to day 2, because there's not enough data between day 1 and day 2 for you to compare to, but there's tons of data between day 1 and day 2000. So yeah, be careful how you compare yourself. Don't compare yourself today to tomorrow, but compare yourself today to next month, next week, so on and so forth. But yeah, hopefully things in this video made a little bit of sense to you. It's a very long video. Right now I'm at like 20 minutes. I don't typically go this long, but I just want to make sure that I got the point across well, because there's so many ways someone can stay motivated, but there's no real stuck way. Like there's no real answer to this question. All you can really do is find inspiration wherever you can. And motivation just doesn't stick around. You gotta have that dedication, as I said. That's the most important thing. So if you're a hardcore art guy like myself, you know, at least I think that I am, then you gotta understand that you gotta be obsessed with this thing. You know, whenever you don't want to do it, you do it. You know what I'm saying? You do it regardless. I think this is glitching. I'm not exactly sure, but you do it regardless, and you keep at it. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys again for watching today's video. As usual, happy drawing. I'm watching you from afar, and I'm rooting for you. Peace.